If you live in Springfield, Ohio, have you checked on your cats today and your local geese and duck population? From what we're hearing, they're getting eaten by possibly Haitians. Have you heard any such thing? Some of you be like, I ain't never heard this. Got to stop and think back. We used to hear the big running joke about Chinese restaurants back in the old days, right? Yep. Guys, it's getting crazy out here. Number one, can I just go out and grab a geese in a state park or a public park and take it home and eat it? I don't know. I figure if me and you do that, we'll go to jail, right? Save you on some hunting license, right? Just go out there and pick it up and take it home. Number one, should they have a hunting license if they're doing this? Yeah, but I don't think you can get license for hunting cats, even feral cats. I don't know if there's license for that, right? Have you ever in your mind thought this stuff would get this crazy as it's getting right now, right? And it's just going to keep getting crazier and crazier. If you haven't watched Tyler Oliveira, he has a video out from last night that's pretty good where he goes to Springfield, Ohio and talks to them about these situations that's going on. Supposedly the cats getting eaten, the geese in the public parks that are getting eaten, right? Number one, if you're hungry, I understand it. I understand it, right? If you're hungry, you got to do what you got to do, right? I mean, that's just the way life is. You might have to go out and get something that you normally wouldn't eat, right? Another thing is, it shows that these people are better prepared than most Americans, right? They're willing, if they are actually doing it, they are willing to actually grab up a cat or go to a park and grab something to eat, like a goose, a geese, a duck, or something, right? A lot of Americans would have issues with that, even if they were starving. They couldn't turn around and do that. No, one thing I will say, if they are doing this up there, it should help them out on their spay and neuter. Every time you hear commercials all the time like, please get your cat spayed and neutered to help control the population, right? Well, if this is actually going on, that should help the population in that area, right? I mean, I'm kind of joking about it, but guys, it's ridiculous. We're hearing stuff like they're getting thousands of dollars a month in EBT and cash. They're getting help on their housing and things like that. And up there, that video I watched, they're saying that what these people are doing, like you or I was renting a house, right? And let's just say it was $700 a month what we were renting it for. Well, they'll kick you out, come in and paint it and fix up a little bit, and then rent it out to the immigrants for $1,500 to $2,000 a month, right? And what that's doing is it's raising the rent prices so high, the property is so high that Americans can't afford the rent, right? Because they're not getting subsidized, they're not getting help on their rent, right? They're paying for rent out of their pocket, but they can come in and get housing. Now, we've seen it in my area with some immigrants before. In the old days, you would have a multi-family complex living in a house, right? You might have three or four brothers, sisters, cousins, and all that living in the same house, and they could afford the rent, and it's cheaper on them, right? Which makes sense. A lot of people are having to do that now. But what they're doing up there is they'll kick out an American citizen, kick them out of the house, fix it up a little bit. When I say fix it up, if you've ever rented a house, you understand how someone fixes it up, right? The landowner, the guy over the house, how he fixes it up. They come in and paint, maybe sweep mop, maybe put down some new peel and stick tile or something in the house. I mean, it's not like they come in and completely renovate the house, right? They just make it look better and smell better, right? And that little bit they do, that $200 or $300 worth of stuff they're doing, well, then they raise the rent up, $400 or $500 more a month. Guys, it's getting to the point where Americans cannot afford to live here. It is cheaper for immigrants to live here than it is Americans. We hear that they're coming up, the refugees, right? I understand you're wanting to get out of your country and come over here to a better life. That's understandable, right? Right? That's why America was founded. People wanted to get away from religious persecution and have a better life and live how they wanted to live. Well, what we're seeing is the better life is not here for the American citizens no more. It's not. We don't get help. We don't. We do not get help. If you fall behind on your rent, number one, and let's say you go get some help. I knew people during the pandemic that fell behind in their rent, and they were doing all the paperwork to try to get help to get caught back up on their rent, right? It was so hard for them to get that help. And number one, it took like almost 2 years to get help for it. And during that 2 years, they were booted, right? They were booted out of their house. Well, these immigrants can come in and instantly get help. Excuse me, I'm about to burp here and I'm sorry. instantly get help, right? That's the problem. You or I, if we're in a position where we need help, let's say you ain't got no money, you got to have this surgery, and you go down there and you like, I need some help with Medicaid, Obamacare, or something, right? They're going to put you through this big old circle. Number one, you're going to have to prove everything you're telling them, everything. You're going to have to prove down to your last penny how much money you got and where your money's coming from. They come in here, no background on them. Sure, here you go. We'll sign you right up and give you whatever you need here. Just sign this paper, put your name on it, this and that, And plus, they're getting driver's license quickly, quickly getting driver's license. That video covers about the as many wrecks as they're having up there in that little town and things like that. It's becoming to where Americans cannot afford to live here. The immigrants are coming in. They can afford to live here because they're getting everything handed to them. You know, I'm not saying they don't come in here and get a job, right? Some of them come in here and get a job. Some of them come in here the right way, and they have been here for 10 or 15 years and still have not earned their citizenship. But they're doing everything the right way. These people are coming in here illegally, claiming asylum seeker, right, and getting stuff handed to them. Number one, how are they getting jobs, right? How are they getting jobs? That's very confusing to me. I'm wondering if they get here. I don't know if it's still called a green card or not. I wonder if they're giving them like a piece of paper saying they can work in America. Are they paying taxes? I mean, how are you taking money out of their taxes if they don't have a social security card and you don't really know who these people are, right? Now, me or you, we go get a job, we're going to get tax debt. They're going to know everything about us from the day we were born, right? But these immigrants can come in here, asylum seekers, whatever you want to call them, refugees are coming in here and just giving stuff to them. And it's you and I that's paying for this. But when you and I need help, there is so much red tape that we have to go through to try to get that help that it makes it, number one, almost not worth it. Number two, damn near impossible to get the help. And number three, at the end of the day, they go down there and quickly get the help, right? Quickly get the help. Why? If they're working, if you're giving them jobs, why do they need all this subsidization? Sorry, I'm about to burp here. Give them all this money, right? They're working. Or are they just coming over here and doing, are these all the jobs that they claim, the government claims were invented, right? We've talked about this where all these jobs, the government's saying, oh, there's millions of jobs out there. Yeah, they are. But guess what? Those jobs are part-time, no benefit having jobs. You're working 20 hours a week maybe, right? That's it. But you're probably going to work every day of the damn week to get that 20 hours. That's how these places do you, right? You're basically working 2 or 3 days for gas, and the rest of it you might try to pay some bills with. That's the jobs that are out there. There's not a lot of jobs where benefits are available, where you're getting 40 hours a week, where you're getting vacation time, paid time, sick leave, all that. There's not that many jobs out there. So all these jobs that are supposedly being invented, and now you got all these, I'm going to call them refugees, coming over here. I don't even know if you call them refugees. Let's call them asylum seekers coming over here. They're getting those jobs, right? And I've said this before, Americans should not have to work 2 to 3 jobs just to get by. You can remember if you're my age or older, you worked one job that paid your bills, you had a little bit of extra money left over, right? A little bit. You weren't rich, but you had enough left over, right? To where if something come up, you had money maybe to fix a flat tire if you needed a car battery. Well, now people are having to work 2 jobs just to pay the bills and buy what they need and still don't have money left over in case a flat tire comes up or in case you need a car battery or something like that. Honestly, now you've got to have about 3 jobs and you're still not going to be comfortable. Growing up, you work, you pay your bills, and you had a little extra money left over. If you wanted something nice, let's say you wanted to go get you a motorcycle, a four-wheeler, or anything like that, something that you don't really need but you wanted. There's a difference between needing and wanting. Maybe you would pick up an extra shift or an extra job to pay for what you wanted, not what you needed, right? Your paycheck should be able to cover what you need, but nowadays it doesn't. These asylum seekers or refugees, whatever we're going to call them, they come in here, they get, let's just say I saw one of them says he gets around $500 a month on food stamps. Number one, that's not a lot of money no more on food stamps. I mean, I know people that's having a budget shop on that, right? Because everything's went up. $500, we all know, and grocery money doesn't buy much, and it hurts much more when you're paying cash for it. But they get $500. You or I go down there. Let's say you're on Social Security. You have a set amount, and you can prove your income, all that stuff, right? Let's just say you get 1,500 to 2,000 a month on your Social Security. You can prove it. There's your paperwork. You go down there and apply for it. Well, we'll give you $20 a month. I know people that's went through that. Elderly people that's went down there to try to get help with groceries, and they get like $20 to $50 a month. Guys, this is why America is falling apart. We need to stop this "Make America Great Again" bullshit. We need to stop that. We need to start "Make America Americans First." Make Americans first. Get rid of this "Make America Great" bullshit, right? Make Americans first. Fix your problems here, help the people here, and then once you're able, you got this took care of and you got extra, then go help others. Then go help others. That's what we need to do. That's the number one thing we need to do again. Make America great again. Sounds awesome, don't it? Make America great again. But what's it going to do for you and I? Make Americans first. Help goes to American citizens first before they should ever go to an immigrant, to an illegal asylum seeker, whatever they are, should go to American people first and then reach out and help others, right? Then reach out. The great immigration waves that we had here in the late 1870s all the way up into the 20s and 30s, right? They come over here for a better life. They came over here the right way. They came over here, they seen what they wanted and they worked to get it. It wasn't handed to them. Guys, it's getting to the point, or if this keeps going on, number one, American citizens, you're going to laugh and say this is not possible. We're going to be outnumbered. We are going to be outnumbered. There's going to be more of the illegals here than they are of us. Plain and simple. There's no place to put these people. There's not. And what they do is they come into the town, they kick the American citizens out of the houses, and they move in the immigrants because they can charge and they're getting help from the government to pay their rent. This video, I mean, it's really making my blood boil, because I'm sure maybe in your life you've been in a situation where you needed, like, hey, I need some help here, and they tell you don't qualify, but yet you have nothing, right? But you don't qualify. Why do you not qualify? Well, because they know everything about you since the day you were born, since you got a social security number, right? They come over here, here you go, here you go, here you go. You ever been in a strip club? That's what it's like to them. You get a card, you get a card, you get a phone. Oh, you get housing. That's the way it's like. Me or you go down there and need some help, we don't get that. We get to run around, and Americans that need help, people look down on the Americans that need help. They look down because it's their fault they got in that position. It's their fault. It's their fault. Just like the homeless. Everybody, oh, the homeless, 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 this. But yet, when it comes down to nut cutting time, the people look at the homeless as if they did it themselves. It's their problem. They're drug addicts. They're drunks. They got mental issues. They did something that caused them to get there like it. But meanwhile, you'll openly open your arms and welcome in illegal immigrants. Open your arms and welcome them in. That's the way it is right now in America. I don't know what's going on. All I know is we're witnessing the downfall of America. Stay safe. Keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times. At that moment, you're the only person that can do it. And if you live in Ohio, keep an eye in your head. Keep it on a swivel on your cats and geese around. Stay safe. Keep prepping.